Japanese superstars have left their native land to join Major League Baseball and spin their craft against the world's best.
See ya! A grand slam for Hideki Matsui! Hideo Nomo has pitched a no-hitter. Base hit, there it is. 4,000 hits.
The exchange went both ways for nearly 20 years as groups of MLB stars would make a biannual pilgrimage to the Far East to face off against Japan's best in a Major League Baseball versus Japan All-Star Series. Now, after a 7-year hiatus, a fresh group of Major League luminaries journey to the land of the rising sun for a showdown against their Japanese counterparts in a battle for international bragging rights.
Goodbye home run. Evan Longoria delivers.
Base hit up the middle. Franchise record for Altuve.
This one is long gone for Justin Morneau.
Baseball is back on the world stage, and it's next on MLB Network. Welcome to Koshien Stadium in Nishinomiya, Japan for the 2014 Japan All-Star Series. Today, the Major League Baseball All-Stars have gathered to take on a roster comprised of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants of the Central League for an exhibition contest right here on MLB Network. With Mark DeRosa, I'm Paul Severino. This is Japanese professional baseball's 80th anniversary game. Again, a joint team of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants taking on the Major League Baseball All-Star team. A lot of big names on this Major League Baseball All-Star team. We'll pick out one, Mark, and start with Robinson Cano.
Yeah, obviously one of the biggest names on the U.S. roster, a 6-time All-Star. All he did in 2014 was revitalize baseball in Seattle, and he'll give a unique perspective to the U.S. team coming over because he's played with the likes of Hideki Matsui, Ichiro, Hiroki Kuroda, and Iwakuma have all been teammates. The power numbers were a little bit down moving into Safeco Field, but still the average was there, the ribbies was there, everything was there, and I assume with the likes of V. Martin Hanley being made attractive that he's going to have a power bat behind him.
Perhaps changing the landscape of baseball in Seattle going forward, Robinson Cano and company. And for the joint team of the Tigers and Giants, a name you might be familiar with, and that is Shinosuke Abe. A couple of World Baseball Classics under his belt.
Yeah, a lot of people like to compare him to our version of the San Francisco Giants, Buster Posey. This is a guy who's hit 30 home runs or more 5 times in his career, culminating with a 2012 where he went 340, 27, and a .04. He was the captain for Japan in the 2013 WBC, and I am excited to see him swing the bat tonight.
Yeah, and just like Buster Posey, a 3-time champion of the Japan Series. A good look there at Robinson Cano. We'll take a look at the rest of the lineup, and the first pitch is coming up next. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Major League Baseball All-Stars. John Farrell is the manager for this crew. He was the manager in the All-Star game this past July, and this obviously an All-Star team as well. He'll treat this kind of like an All-Star game, this exhibition before the All-Star Series against Samurai Japan begins tomorrow, so a lot of moving and shaking, but to start, a nice little lineup for John Farrell.
Absolutely. The jewel of the lineup sits in the number 2 hole, but you look up and down this, and you got Chris Carter lurking in the 8 hole. All he did this year was hit 37 tanks and 88 ribbies, so a lot of power up and down that lineup.
One thing that will be interesting, though, for this team is how they work their outfield. Obviously, you see Chris Carter in the outfield. They don't have a ton of full-time outfielders on this roster. Just Dexter Fowler and Yasiel Puig, who are in center and right tonight. So left field might be an issue. We'll see. We'll see what Chris Carter brings to the table.
I have a feeling Ben Zobrist bought multiple gloves on the flight over and will be playing an awful lot this series.
Something else to take a look at. No grass on the infield, Mark.
Yeah, very interesting. You know what, though? It looks like it's absolutely beautiful, the hallowed grounds of Koshien Stadium. I don't expect any bad hops, so it looks pretty beautiful to me.
Just about set to go as Hanshin-Yomiuri is done with his warm-up tosses, and we are ready to go. Again, Japanese professional baseball's 80th anniversary game, a joint team of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants up against this Major League Baseball All-Star team. Alcides Escobar steps in, and the first pitch is in there for a called strike.
I expected Escobar to ambush like he did in most games in the World Series. He let that one go after having some time off.
But not a ton of time off. In fact, there are 4 Kansas City Royals on this roster, believe it or not. A bit of a surprise to me. Jeremy Guthrie and the pitching staff. Obviously, Alcides Escobar, Sal Perez, and Eric Kratz as well. The 0-1 pitch on the way to Escobar from Yomiuri. Misses inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Just a little bit below a 4 ERA and 169 and a third innings pitched for Yomiuri this season in Nippon professional baseball. And the 1-1 pitch to Escobar in the air, left field, left center. It'll stay in the yard. And Ito puts it away for out number 1. And here is that jewel of the Major League All-Star lineup, Robinson Cano.
Just makes the game look so easy, Paul. I sometimes think people take it as almost a sense of laziness. I just take it as he does things a heck of a lot better than the rest of us.
The game ever come that easy to you, even for like a week or two? I mean,
yeah, when you get in the zone every once in a while, it seems like he's in the zone for 140 of the 162 games.
As you mentioned before, maybe the power numbers down a tad. 14 homers this year in his first season with the Seattle Mariners, but still a good season. On the brink of a postseason for Seattle. Obviously could not quite get there. There it was an ambush. A base hit into right field on the first pitch. I mean, you fly all that way. What are you waiting for?
I was just going to say, you put the game away. I know he wasn't swinging the bat as soon as the season ended, and he throws out an absolute missile first at bat. First pitch he sees. He wasn't waiting around right there. He saw Yomiuri the way he attacked Alcides Escobar with 2 heaters to start. Came right out of the gates. Beautiful stroke, head down on the baseball. Perfect balance. One of the sweetest swings in our game.
Now, they did have workouts, but he looks like the kind of guy who could take 5-6 weeks off and just rip a line drive on the first pitch. Evan Longoria is up with 1 on and 1 out, and he takes upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes.
I always said it, Paul, if I could start my career over, I'd want to hit like Evan Longoria. He had a little bit of a down year this year, to be expected. There's always a hiccup on the screen once in a while, but just looks so comfortable.
Yomiuri just misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Cano saying, just swing, man. It's easy. It's simple. Just swing at the first pitch. Get out there. Ripped a line drive on the first pitch, and he leads off at first base with 1 away here in the top of the first. Big rip from Longoria, fouled back, 2-1.
Yeah, I'd like to see Yomiuri coming inside though with his fastball. He did it to Escobar as well, and he's got to do that. He works 88, probably tops out 88 to 92, can top out around 93. but it's going to set up his off-speed stuff, the changeup, the good fork ball, the backdoor slider. Got to be able to command something on the inside part of the plate to the big right-handed U.S. hitters.
Nomi deals the 2-1. And Longoria couldn't hold up. That first base umpire may look familiar to you. It's Chris Conroy. 2 major league umpires and 2 umpires from the Nippon Professional Baseball. Fumihiro Yoshimoto behind the plate. Chris Conroy's at first. Fukuya is at second and Mike Winters is at third. And a check on Cano over at first. It is a different look though with the no grass infield. I'm intrigued by that. It's different. Is it take any getting used to? I would think maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm sure these guys have been out here taking ground balls. As long as the dirt's pure, no problems.
Another check swing there by Longoria, but he held up this time. Count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Masashi Iwakuma will pitch once the Major League All-Star team takes on Samurai Japan in the games in Tokyo. On the ground. Oh, nice pick over at third. They get 1 and they get 2. Nice job by Murata. Well, you said no bad hops. It got there in a hurry, but he turns the 5-4-3 double play. Cano with that single is erased on the double play. A half inning in the books in Japan. Scoreless. Welcome back. Paul Severino, Mark DeRosa, as we take a look at the Hanshin Tigers, Yomiuri Giants, their joint team, and their lineup. We talked about Shinsuke Abe in the Open, a 3-time Japan Series champion, 2002, 2009, 2012, and the guy who made that slick defensive play on the 5-4-3 double play, Shuichi Murata, right behind him, and Murata showing off why he won the Gold Glove just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, Paul, not only was he showing off a slick Gold Glove, but we did some research on this guy. 10 of his 12 years for the Yomiuri Giants, 20-plus homers. Not only does he flash leather, but he's got some big-time pop as well.
Chris Capuano gets the start for the Major League All-Star team, and he'll face Yoshiyuki Kamei, the right fielder, to lead things off. That one is upstairs, 1-0, and you can tell the difference. The top and the bottom of the inning, just the energy level in the ball yard. It was quick. I mean, they are excited. And we've seen that in World Baseball Classics in years past, too. They love their baseball in Japan. Noisemakers, chants, songs. It's more of what we might be more accustomed to, a soccer type feel.
That's exactly how Chris Capuano described it, like he was going to pitch in a soccer match. And what is Sal Perez doing in this game? He's only played in every game this year.
So no surprise he was going to be behind the plate. The 2-1 pitch from Capuano. In the air, center field. Dexter Fowler underneath it to make the catch, and there is one away. Well, let's take a look at the defense behind Chris Capuano. Carter, Fowler, and Puig left to right on the outfield. Around the horn, Longoria, Escobar, Cano, and Morneau. And, of course, Sal Perez behind the plate. Capuano wearing a Yankees uniform for now. See if he's wearing one in the spring as well. Currently a free agent. Well, that's the last big league uniform that he wore when he pitched in 12 games for the Yankees toward the end of the 2014 season. Hiroki Umioto takes outside 1-0. This one is hit in the air to the outfield. Chris Carter moving over, but Fowler calls him off. And there are two away here in the first.
You know, it can't be easy taking all that time off Chris Capuano. He said he threw a couple light bullpen sessions to get ready for this start. But to amp it back up, I don't care who you are. You don't come into these games treating them as exhibitions. Once the game starts, you want to put your best foot forward. So cannot be easy, but he's that utility pitcher extraordinaire. He could do so many different things for a roster. Very similar style to Nomi on the opposing side.
First pitch in there for a called strike to Hayato Sakamoto, the shortstop. And Chris Capuano, as Mark mentioned, hasn't pitched since late September. So a few weeks off, a couple of bullpen sessions here and there to get geared up for this, but there will be pitch limits while these Major League All-Stars are over in Japan. A pitcher can't throw more than 80 pitches per game. If he exceeds that limit, they'll let him finish. The batter, of course. And if a pitcher throws more than 50 pitches, he must have 4 days of rest before being able to throw in another game. If a pitcher throws more than 30 pitches or throws for 2 consecutive games, he's got to have a day of rest.
Pulled the string right there. Nice pitch. And that's what Chris Capuano is going to do. He's going to get you thinking soft. He can pop that 92-mile-an-hour fastball in on you. But for the most part, he's going to nickel and dime you, get you in that proverbial rocking chair, and try and throw off your timing. There was the heater in.
And Capuano split time with the Red Sox and Yankees in the 2014 season. Delivers a 3-2 pitch and misses low and in. So a closer look here at how the pitchers will be limited. And again, they don't want to see anybody get hurt. So an 80 pitch limit per game. Can't throw for 2 consecutive days. Throw 30 or more pitches, have to rest 1 day. Throw 50 or more, it's 4 days off. So something to keep an eye on. 12 pitches to this point as Shinosuke Abe steps in. A guy who, if you are a fan of the World Baseball Classic, you know the name, you've seen the power. And he takes low, 1-0.
The only player in WBC history to hit 2 homers in the same inning versus the Netherlands. I don't think I ever did that in Little League.
Never mind against
exactly.
Some of the best competition the world has to offer. And that's one of the reasons why they're doing this.
Exactly.
This Japan series. They're gearing up. The Japan national team gearing up for the 2017 World Baseball Classic, and Sakamoto picked off, so Capuano walks him and then takes him right off the bases, getting a little greedy at first. We're through one, scoreless.
They made
defense behind Nomi, Ito, Maeda, and Kame. Left to run in the outfield. Murata, who made that slick defensive play to start the 5-4-3 double play in the first, is at third. Sakamoto, Omieto, and Ota third to first, with Umeno behind the plate.
Yeah, Shuichi Murata at third base absolutely made a Gold Glove caliber play. Rolling two on Evan Longoria's hot one hopper to third.
Carlos Santana, Yasiel Puig, Justin Morneau here in the top of the second inning. First pitch swinging for Santana, and he's down on the count 0-1.
Carlos got off to such a terrible start, but you can see his numbers right there. Battled back, stayed with the plan, ended up finishing strong. 27 homers.
Nomi paints the outside corner, and it's quickly 0-2. Chases the ball in the dirt, and Santana's retired for the first out here in the second inning.
Nasty pitch right there. Looked like a fork ball. That's exactly what it was. A little version of the split finger almost. Depth and dive, good arm action. You can see it almost fumbling down. And when you haven't seen a pitcher, and I know none of these guys that face Nomi, you got to see that a couple of times before you're going to make any contact against a pitch like that.
Yasiel Puig steps in with one away here in the second inning and takes a called strike on the inside part of the plate.
Love his aggressiveness early, throwing a lot of four-seam fastballs on the inner half to right-handed batters.
Puig down to the count, no balls and 2 strikes. They've been kind of aggressive too. I mean, Santana struck out on 3 pitches. Puig down 0-2. Cano swung at the first pitch, lined a single back in the first inning. They're out there swinging. Puig chases. 2 strikeouts here in the second inning for Nomi.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is the exhibition game. Do the MLB players, are they going to treat it like the last day of spring, where you're fined if you don't swing at the first pitch? So we got to get on the plane and get out of here. But I don't think that's the case. I just think you're seeing Nomi right now. He's got a beautiful fastball command working, and then he's got that nasty forkball to strike out both Santana and Puig back to back.
So Justin Morneau steps in with 2 away here in the top of the 2nd inning, and Nomi deals upstairs 1 ball and no strikes.
Batting champ Justin Morneau.
Colorado seems like the place to be. They've had a few in their brief history, those batting champs. One of them, Michael Kadire, the newest member of the New York Mets.
Interesting sign there yesterday. Kind of took everybody by surprise, but I think a great addition to the New York Mets lineup. Lengthens it, makes it stronger, gets a chance to play with his boy David Wright.
That forkball's been working, huh?
That is nasty.
Santana, Puig, and Morneau have all seen it. Santana and Puig have struck out so far here in the 2nd. Doesn't chase that time. 2-2. Strikes out the side. Nomi, a terrific 2nd inning. 3 strikeouts, all swinging. We go to the bottom of the 2nd. Home movie footage of Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig during a 1920s barnstorming tour that was found in 2009 among 16mm reels taken by a Japanese-American businessman in Fresno on October 29, 1927. What do you like? That is great, rare footage of Babe Ruth.
That is unbelievable right there. You know, you think of those things every time you walk into places like Fenway Park, you walk through the tunnel as a former player, and you said, Babe Ruth played here.
Yeah.
Lou Gehrig walked these halls, and exactly the same can be said about Koshien Stadium.
Shinosuke Abe takes a called strike on the breaking ball. He was up in the bottom of the 1st inning when Sakamoto was picked off at first after the 2-out walk. So Capuano helped himself to get out of that 1st inning. Now he's even in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike to Abe. On the ground, Cano. He just makes it look so easy, doesn't he? 1 away here in the 2nd. like it's nothing.
Born to play this game. Special talent, really truly is. Ability to go up the middle, turns a double play. He just really makes the game look super easy.
Capuano, 31 2/3 innings with Boston, 65 2/3 with the Yankees this season. Splitting duty as he delivers a strike to Shiichi Murata, the third baseman. Went 21 homers this year. Attacks the inside corner. It's 0-2.
And that's going to be the key for Chris Capuano coming out. Fastball command.
Right back at Capuano and puts it away for out number 2.
If you can steal those strikes early, 0-1, 0-2, and then sets up this nice changeup. Again, a lot of players from both sides seeing guys for the first time that they've never faced. You don't have a feel for what their breaking stuff does. Obviously, the MLB team has no answer right now for Nomi's forkball. We'll see how that extends throughout the course of this game.
The left fielder Hayata Ito steps in and takes a called strike. So again, this is the Japanese professional baseball 80th anniversary game. It's a joint team of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants. Major League All-Star team in Japan, though, for another week beyond tonight. This is just more of an exhibition. The actual 2014 Suzuki All-Star Series begins tomorrow. Samurai Japan will take on this Big League All-Star squad. So basically a Samurai Japan team made up of the best that Nippon professional baseball has to offer. Tonight, though, just a split squad of Tigers and Giants. Major League All-Star team will travel all over Japan for those games. 5-game series and then one more exhibition game between those two squads on November 20th. Capuano gets Ito looking to end the second. We are through 2 and we're scoreless. Since its first year of existence in 1950, the Japanese Championship Series or Japan Series, the annual championship of the Nippon Professional Baseball, and the SoftBank Hawks wrapping up their 6th title a few weeks back. Obviously, everybody chasing the Japanese version of the New York Yankees, the Yomiuri Giants, who have 22 titles since 1950. We move to the top of the 3rd inning, bottom 3rd of the order for the Major League All-Stars. Sal Perez, Chris Carter, and Dexter Fowler. Nomi struck out the side in the 2nd inning, retiring Carlos Santana, Yasiel Puig, and Justin Morneau all swinging. And a new pitcher in the ball game here to face Sal Perez in the 3rd. That's in there for a called strike.
Here's Sal Perez, including the postseason this year. 158 games started behind the plate, and the only Gold Glover on the Major League roster this year.
Swing and a miss.
You're going to see a steady diet from the Japanese pitchers of this version of forkball split finger.
The 0-2 pitch from Yuki Koyama to Sal Perez in the dirt.
Another one right there. Yu Darvish, Daisuke Matsuzaka, Iwakuma. All the Japanese pitchers that come over, for the most part, have that nasty split finger that they can put you away with.
The 1-2 pitch right back up the middle, and it's a base hit for Sal Perez.
Aggressive right there. Sal Perez with 2 strikes. He tried to sneak a fastball by him after showing him 2 splits in the dirt, and Sal Perez was all over it.
If the theme is Robinson Cano makes the game look easy, Sal Perez never tires.
They asked Dayton Moore, are you shocked he's going to Japan? He said, no, I'm not shocked. The guy loves to play the game. You would think he'd just want to go home and relax on the couch for a little bit.
No, he was actually in the Scottsdale area last week, checking out some Arizona Fall League games. It's amazing. A baseball junkie, apparently. Chris Carter takes a called strike.
What a year for Chris Carter. 37 homers, 88 RBIs. Ballpark, Minute Maid Ballpark in Houston just sets up perfectly for this guy's swing. The Crawford boxes out in short left field.
And it was good to see the Houston Astros, a team that was obviously just struggling for 3 years in a row, to get in the win column, losing over 100 games in 3 straight years, to play some better baseball. I know they fired their manager Bo Porter along the way, but as a team, as an organization, seemingly going in the right direction. And Chris Carter, Jose Altuve, who is also on this Major League All-Star team, not in the lineup tonight, but you can see him right there in the Major League dugout. Obviously the cornerstones of that club going forward. Koyama deals the 1-2, and Carter strikes out. Yeah, it's kind of their trademark pitch, it seems. Certainly tonight.
Using the Major League Baseball players' aggressiveness against them right now. It's a nasty pitch. It comes out of the hand. If you've never seen these guys, it comes out of the hand and you think it's a fastball. Next thing you know, you catch a little fumble in the rotation of it, and it's gone. It's in the dirt before you've already committed your swing, and it's too late by then. Strike 3.
Another one of those Astros who figures to be a big part of their future. Dexter Fowler takes outside.
Astros well represented on this roster.
No kidding.
When you hit 341 with 7 homers and 59 ribbies, Jose Altuve, and you can't crack the opening day lineup because there's Robinson Cano in it, you know it's a pretty good team.
Yeah. Fowler on the ground. They get 1, and they get 2. Second double play turned by the Tigers and Giants joint team, and we are through 2.5 scoreless. hitters baseball has ever seen. Sadahara O, and he became friends with Hank Aaron. These two guys squared off in a home run derby before an exhibition game in 1974 after Aaron had eclipsed the home run record held by Babe Ruth. By that time, O was running away with the Japanese home run record. First Japanese player to reach the mark of 600 home runs did it that year. This is the tail of the tape. Let's just say that they could both hit the long ball.
Yeah, and I read that story. Sadahara O hooked a couple that were questionable. We needed replay back in the day. They called them foul. There were some arguments. Two of those balls could have been called fair, but Hank Aaron wasn't concerned about who won or lost. They just said they put on an amazing show for the fans.
Well, he could say that because he won 10-9.
Exactly. He didn't lose at a home run hitting contest.
Chris Capuano back out for his third inning of work. He'll face 7, 8, and 9 for the Tigers-Giants joint squad. Taishi Ota leads things off. On the ground right side, Cano. 2 more no, 1 away. So John Farrell, the skipper of the Major League All-Star team, said he was going to treat this like an All-Star game. So you would imagine by the 5th, maybe 6th inning, we'll start seeing a turnover. I guess, a little surprised that Capuano's still out there. He said he wants to get as many pitchers work as he possibly can, but third inning of work here for Capuano.
He's cruising right now, Paul. 25 pitches into the top, into the bottom of the third. And you want, as every player on that roster, you want to get the kinks out. You want to get the nerves. I know these guys are coming over here and they've played in the big leagues for many years, but you want to put your best foot forward and play well. And there's nerves involved, and you want to get out on that dirt, kind of have that first one hit at you.
And therefore a called strike to Ryutaro Umeno, the catcher. Spoils that one. Count remains 0-2. Yeah, it's a different atmosphere, certainly in this ball game, than it will be or figures to be once the All-Star Series truly gets underway. The 5-game series between Samurai Japan and the Major League All-Star team. It's just a 1-game exhibition between the joint team of the Tigers and Giants.
Umeno, 23-year-old rookie for the Hanshin Tigers this year. We've seen a lot of young players tonight. This exhibition game getting their feet wet at the bottom of the order for the Japanese team.
Swing and a miss. And Umeno is retired. Second strikeout of the night for Chris Capuano. 2 away here in the third.
Capuano looks sharp. Really does.
Don't often say mid-season form in November, but looks pretty good.
Well, this is a guy that keeps himself in great shape. You can tell.
The number 9 hitter, Yamato Maeda, the center fielder, takes a called strike on a breaking ball.
But he has command of everything. If you can flip that 0-0 breaking ball in, mix in that fastball in and out with a good changeup, going to be effective.
And obviously he wants to go over there and play well for his teammates, but as I mentioned before, he's also a free agent right now. He's wearing a Yankees uniform. That's just because that was the last big league team that he pitched for. But this maybe be something of an audition.
I have a feeling Chris Capuano is going to find himself. I mean, obviously the big boys are out there, and you got to wait and see. But he just offers a roster and a manager too much flexibility.
Base hit up the middle, a 2-out single for Maeda. And the lineup card will turn over for Kume, who flew out back in the first inning. Yeah, I mean, he's a seasoned veteran, of course. You kind of know what you're getting with a Chris Capuano. He's a innings eater type. Pitch out of the bullpen if need be. Can start if need be. Doesn't hurt to have a good time in Japan, though.
A lot of these guys taking in the sights.
Yeah. Maeda off of first base. And Kamei takes a called strike.
Plane flight not easy. Probably takes a day or two to get adjusted, but
the atmosphere in the ballpark will wake you up real quick.
I think so.
Doesn't matter what time your body clock says it is. .35 pitches to this point for Chris Capuano. Pitcher can't throw more than 80. Obviously a long way from that. It's the outside corner, 1-2. Check on the runner at first, and Maeda is back. Now, obviously, Capuano did not make the postseason with the New York Yankees, but there's a number of players, pitchers that is, on this big league all-star team that did go to the postseason. So having those extra pitches or extra innings under their belt, obviously not scaring them off from Japan. I mean, just looking at it quick, Jerry Blevins, Randy Choate with the Cardinals, obviously Jeremy Guthrie with the Kansas City Royals. A number of guys threw extra innings, I guess you could say, once you got to October, but still deciding to go to Japan and make the most of it. Could be a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
And not, you know, you would expect those guys to be tired, but those are the guys that should be the sharpest. Playing competitive baseball at the highest level of our sport, fresh off the field, jump on the plane, go over to Japan. Expect them to play well.
Matt Shoemaker, another one of those guys with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and he'll pitch game 1 against Samurai Japan tomorrow.
Kamei spoiled a nice curveball right there from Capuano, battling. Hit .296 this year with 8 homers. Looks like Koshien Stadium plays pretty big, though.
Yeah.
387 to the gaps.
And the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the inning and third of the ball game for Chris Capuano. Scoreless through 3. Welcome back. The All-Star Series continues. 4 a.m. Eastern Time. All but Game 5 as Samurai Japan and the Major League All-Stars get it going. for real in Game 1. Matt Shoemaker goes in Game 1. Hisashi Iwakuma in Game 2. Jeremy Guthrie in Game 3. And then tonight's starter Chris Capuano goes in Game 4. And of course, an exhibition game on November 20th as well, once the actual Japan series is all said and done. Paul Severino and Mark DeRosa back with you as we move to the top of the 4th inning, top of the lineup for the Major League All-Stars.
Yeah, excited for tomorrow. Matt Shoemaker toes the slab for the Major League team. 16-4, was a finalist in the Rookie of the Year. Really had an amazing breakout season.
Alcides Escobar flew out back in the 1st inning. New pitcher is Suguru Iwakazi. Wide of the bag at 3rd, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Another young player, 23-year-old left-hander. 17 games started last year, 5-4 with a 3.50.
Iwazaki deals the 1-1 to Escobar upstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike. And another thing that you kind of notice from Japanese pitchers, Robinson Cano on deck, is that pause in their delivery.
Yeah,
we've seen it with a number of guys in the big leagues, obviously, and we've seen it here tonight with all the pitchers so far, as Escobar lines a base hit into center field to lead things off here in the 4th.
You know, it's funny, I always liked it.
Really?
I had so many moving parts in my swing. It gave me a chance to almost regroup. Yeah, it can throw you off. And it's what you search for as a hitter, is timing. If your timing's right, guys at this level will find a way to do exactly that.
Yeah, Cano's timing is right, even after a few weeks off. Lined a first pitch single into right field back in the 1st inning, but was erased on a double play for Evan Longoria. So Cano steps in with a runner on first base here in the 4th inning. And check on Escobar over at first. I would imagine the scouting report got to Japan pretty quick on Robinson Cano.
Could walk him. I just like the fact, Paul, that he lived up to it. I know it's early in the contract, but when you get handed 10 for 240 and you walk away from New York and the allure of Yankee Stadium and everything the Yankees represent, you know, he took a lot of heat to go to Seattle and found a nice home and had a great year.
And the Mariners were not that far from the postseason.
They were a week away.
I mean,
they really were. They went into Toronto, one of the last series of the year, with King Felix on the mound, and it's probably the last place you want to play in the Rogers Center with Joey Bats, Jose Bautista, that is, Eddie Encarnacion, Melky, the way they're capable of swinging against anyone, and it just kind of demoralized them with one bad start.
And if memory serves, the Mariners' travel schedule was really brutal.
Treacherous.
In that 10, 11, 12-day span, they were all over the map, quite literally. And after a long season, for a team like the Mariners, who every year leads the league in airline miles as it is, that's got to be a tough trip when you're grinding toward the last couple of weeks, 3 weeks of the season. I don't care if they're charter flights. That's got to be tough.
No, it's definitely not easy. You're playing night games. You're flying cross country. That's the biggest thing I've noticed. Just seems like the schedule, like you said, they are charter flights, but every game's at a different time, it seems like.
1-2 pitch to Cano, misses outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
When you get locked in throughout the course of a season, you don't even know what day it is. You just know, is it a 1 o'clock game or a 7 o'clock game? Check the board on the way out.
I don't even play and it's a long year. Just do an MLB Tonight or whatever show. It's just
you got to grind, Paul.
Yeah. Just check the schedule, check the big board, figure out when I got to be in the next day. The 2-2 pitch to Cano. Misses away again, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
This will be an interesting pitch right here. Does he stay soft away? Does he try and lock him up with a fastball? Probably see Escobar in motion. Cano doesn't strike me as a strikeout candidate. No, probably going to put the ball in play.
Something of a contact hitter for sure.
Looks like off speed from the signal.
The payoff pitch to Cano. Shoots it foul. Sashi Iwakuma, saw a quick shot of Iwakuma. Knows Nippon professional baseball quite well. Again, going to start game 2 at the Tokyo Dome on November 14th. All those games live right here on MLB Network. And again, the 3-2. Hit hard through the left side for a base hit. So after first pitch swinging in his first at bat, collecting a hit, the guy with the $240 million contract singles through the left side after a lengthy at bat, and he's 2 for 2. But when you're on a list of the top 5 richest contracts in baseball, dinner's on you.
Yeah, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with Robinson Cano. Meet me in the lobby. You're taking us to dinner tonight.
Right up there with Pujols and Miggy.
And playing against the Yankees, one thing I will say, playing against the Yankees, Robinson Cano was their best player for a while.
Yeah.
So for him to walk and go to Seattle, it was going to take a 10 for 240 to do it.
Yeah.
But to adjust the way he adjusted so quickly, to take the young guys under his wing, the Kyle Seagers, the Dustin Ackleys, make them better ball players. You saw it. He was not only influential on the field.
Ball squirts away toward the dugout. Both runners will advance to second and third with nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning.
But I got to believe guys were following him around, definitely to the batting cage, through osmosis, praying that some of his sweet stroke would kind of seep into their game.
Escobar on third, Cano now on second base after the wild pitch. And I don't know if I was onto something or not. Usually I'm not, but I noticed Kyle Seager kind of picking up on some of Cano's mannerisms too.
I guarantee it, Paul.
The 1-0 Longoria in there for a called strike. Longoria grounded into a slick double play to end the first inning. Murata made a terrific play. Ball got on him in a hurry. Picked it, threw to second for 1 and on to first to retire the side in the first. Now a chance to put the Major League All-Stars on the board in the 4th. And ahead in the count 2-1.
It's interesting, these first 4 innings, you're seeing the Japanese pitchers attack a lot of the right-hand hitters. I'm going to keep saying it. Coming in a lot. Usually you're facing a lefty that throws 88 to 92. He's going to work the ball away, in for effect, and get right back outside. Not the case. You're seeing a lot of fastballs in, trying to set up that breaking ball, back foot slider, and then get right to the split finger for the put-away pitch.
Should see Jose Altuve later in this ball game. Again, John Farrell said he's going to treat this like an all-star game, get guys a couple of at-bats, try to get everybody in. Good job by Escobar to get out of the way. Count 3-2.
Is Robinson Cano ever not having fun on the field?
I don't think so. I would say maybe when he goes 0 for 4, but that doesn't happen very often. A multi-hit game for him tonight, had 56 of those in the regular season. 5th most in baseball. He's on second base. Escobar on third. And the payoff pitch to Longoria misses. And the bases will be loaded for Carlos Santana. Escobar on third, Cano on second, and Longoria at first. Big spot here for the Major League All-Star squad to crack the scoreboard in the fourth inning. With the bases loaded and nobody out, some heavy hitters coming up. Frankly, they're all heavy hitters in this lineup, but Carlos Santana now, Yasiel Puig on deck, and Justin Morneau perhaps behind him. Santana takes a called strike.
They're effective in there. That ball appears to be a little bit off the plate in, but they've been popping that zone. The umpire is starting to give it to him.
Santana struck out in the second inning, first of 3 consecutive strikeouts for Nome in that inning. This one on the ground to the left side. They get 1 at second, they get 2 at first, but a run comes in to score on the double play, and the Major League All-Stars take a 1-0 lead.
No other guy you'd rather have up at the plate right there than Carlos Santana coming into that AB with the bases loaded. In his career, he was 20 for 48. Induced a double play. Wow. Small sample size theater.
I guess so, yeah. Where's the fancy graphic? So the base is loaded and nobody out. And after the double play, it's a 1-0 lead. Yasiel Puig steps in. Struck out by Nome back in the second. Shoots this one to right field, and it falls for a base hit and an RBI. It's 2-0 MLB.
That nice piece of hitting by Yasiel Puig right there. He's been watching the guys before him. This guy's been pumping a lot of fastballs in. Didn't try and do too much. Leaked out more inner third. Was able to fight it off with a nice base hit to right.
His aggressiveness changed a little bit, didn't it? Got a little more controlled in year 2.
It had to. It had to. You know, pitchers in the big leagues, if they, the way they're capable of executing, if you're going to swing at everything, they're going to find a way to get you out. And I think it's just a maturation of a potential superstar. I really do believe that. You hear all the talk about the Dodgers potentially moving one of the outfielders. I don't think Yasiel Puig will have to worry about being in that conversation. I truly don't. He's a game changer.
Justin Morneau takes upstairs 1-0. He struck out as well back in the second inning, the third of the 3 consecutive when Nome struck out the side in the second.
Yeah, the things you love about Yasiel Puig, he plays the game with his hair on fire. He's like a wild stallion running the bases, playing defense. He's got all the tools. But also that style of play leads to the occasional critics getting on him about running into outs, running his team out of certain innings, making some interesting choices.
Sure.
In the outfield, but
a lot of foul ground here at Koshien Stadium as this one was popped up, and Murata had a long run. I mean, it's not O.co in Oakland, but still a lot of foul ground and a long run just out of the reach of Murata. So Morneau continues to have life here in the fourth. Here comes the 1-1, and it's upstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike.
how about Justin Morneau? Goes over to Colorado, wins himself a batting title. Followed his old teammate Michael Kadire, who won the batting title in 2013 over there.
Known obviously as up until the summer of 2013 as a lifelong Minnesota Twin. It was tough for him to leave,
And he was the guy, Paul. He was the guy going into the Metrodome. Joe Mauer, obviously, batting titles. But this was the guy when he got into the box. You said one wrong pitch and he's going to put a crooked number up on that board. Former MVP.
Excuse me, swing for Morneau keeps it at a 2-2 count with
you
2 in and 2 outs here in the 4th.
Yeah, and you worried about Justin Morneau's career coming into this season, dealing with the concussions.
Another.
He battled back. Hit .319, 17 homers, 82 ribbies. Just really played well, had a great year.
And that again was on the heels of a year in which he had 259, splitting time with the Twins and Pirates. Only played 25 games with Pittsburgh. Looks at strike 3. But the Major League All-Stars played a couple of runs on 3 hits here in the 4th. They've got a 2-0 lead. Mark DeRosa back with you. Koshien Stadium in Japan. Japanese professional baseball's 80th anniversary game. A joint team of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants taking on the Major League All-Star team before the 2014 Suzuki All-Star Series officially gets underway tomorrow. Samurai Japan against this same big league squad. Chris Capuano back out there for his 4th inning of work. 39 pitches to this point, and he will face 2, 3, and 4 here in the 4th inning. Hiroki Umioto leads things off, takes upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. Mark, we haven't discussed this, but I will guess that you are like the rest of the world and think Clayton Kershaw is the NL Cy Young.
Yeah, just like Jose Abreu was a unanimous selection for AL Rookie of the Year. It was a historic season. It was a Sandy Koufax-like season from Clayton Kershaw. 21-3, a 1.7. The question will be, will he win the MVP?
Yeah,
that will be the big argument. Because Andrew McCutchen, Giancarlo Stanton, God, you can go down the list, almost add Jonathan LaCroix, Buster Posey. There was a lot of guys who played really well.
Find out the MVP later this week as well.
I mean, he is choked up to the label. Look at this. Stay short.
I was just going to say that. My goodness.
I'm blown away by Chris Capuano tonight. Very effective.
Good hop for Escobar at short. Throw to first. And there's one away. Capuano has certainly been good tonight. Obviously not as good as Clayton Kershaw had been all year long, at least in the regular season. First in wins, ERA, strikeouts per 9, whip, complete games. I mean, if we had more space, we could probably put more things that he was first in. Jeez. 4 in a row, ERA titles.
And the huge argument will be, do you believe a pitcher who plays once every 5 days is deserving of an MVP?
Find out Thursday on MLB Network, and we don't have to go back that far. The last time a pitcher was an MVP, and Justin Verlander a couple of years back.
Myself, a former position player, I used to always think to myself that the pitchers had the Cy Young and the position players had the MVP, but obviously a historic season like Clayton Kershaw's might change that.
On the ground to Cano at second. And 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Well, let's take a look. Guys to win the MVP and Cy Young in the same season. Can Clayton Kershaw join this list of the last 5 pitchers to do so? Raleigh fingers 28 saves and a 104 ERA. See 3 closers on that list. So I guess to your point, kind of, sort of, the closer's able to affect more games than the starting pitchers.
Well, yeah, well, that's been the argument. I mean, when you get into this conversation, and don't think this conversation doesn't take place in dugouts, clubhouses, on the plane. Everyone's obviously aware how great Clayton Kershaw is. But he plays 35 times. Andrew McCutchen and John Carlos 150, 160 normal. They both got hurt for a little bit over a month. I think John Carlo missed the last 17 games. Andrew McCutchen was questionably drilled in the back in Arizona by Randall Delgado. Both had miraculous seasons as well.
And Kershaw missed his time too. It's just at the beginning of the year. Missed a few weeks.
I mean, you look at the numbers. Andrew McCutchen put up the exact same, if not better, numbers this year than in his 2013 MVP campaign.
Abe skies one, center field. Gets a rise out of the crowd, but Dexter Fowler puts it away for out number 3. 4 terrific innings of work for Chris Capuano. 2-0. player introductions before this Japanese professional baseball 80th anniversary game. The Major League All-Stars being introduced. The joint team of Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants introduced as well. Both skippers, the umpires. Of course, the exhibition game before the Japan All-Star Series really gets going. Game 1 tomorrow, right here on MLB Network. Matt Shoemaker will go for the Major League All-Star squad. There you see him with
and
that
he will
you can't miss him. He's got that Brian Wilson beard.
Rocking a huge beard tomorrow for Game 1.
Not sure whether or not he would have shaved it had he won the Rookie of the Year. But with the season Jose Abreu had, I think it would have been tough for anybody. Sal Perez will lead things off against the new pitcher, Yuki Igarashi. First pitch swinging, and a ground ball to short. Sakamoto over to first, one away. So while the Tigers and Giants are on their fourth pitcher, Team Major League Baseball still on their first. Chris Capuano, 4 awesome innings to this point. We do believe they brought over more pitchers. Maybe not. Chris Carter looks at strike 1. It's not like John Farrell's protecting against extra innings. This game will not go extra innings. And that's nothing new with Nippon Professional Baseball. They will play to ties in their regular season. This one will not go more than 9. 1 and 2 to Carter.
Keep your eye out right here for the shoot-do from Igarashi. Or the backdoor curveball in Chris Carter's spine.
I don't think that was it, right?
No, that was not it.
Not it, no. Another member of the Houston Astros, Dexter Fowler, steps to the plate. Grounded into a double play to end the third. Luckily for Carter, that was an off-speed pitch that just slipped away. And Carter's a big guy, so I can't imagine that hurt too much.
Curveball in the back with 2 strikes on you, you'll take that.
Yeah. Igarashi misses inside to Dexter Fowler. 1 ball and no strikes.
3 seasons with the Yomiuri Giants. He was a 2012 Japan Series champion when they defeated the Nippon Ham Fighters. Looks like he comes with a nice arsenal of breaking stuff. Big curveball, little slider cut action, the shoot-do, which is kind of a version of the split finger fork ball action.
Fowler, base hit center field. 2 aboard, 1 out here in the 5th.
I just remember playing in the WBC for Team USA in 2009 and playing against Team Japan at Dodger Stadium. Here comes Altuve, and that word, the shoot-do, is a huge, like, in vogue word.
Oh yeah,
of their version of the split finger.
I mean, it's got to be cool. I mean, they're not right now. These big league all-stars aren't necessarily playing for their country the way that you did in the World Baseball Classic, but that experience of international baseball really had to be something to behold and something to partake in.
The highlights of my career, no doubt about it. We ended up losing in the semifinals to Team Japan. I remember Yu Darvish bursting on the scene. Daisuke Matsuzaka started the game. And the thing I took away, they were so fundamentally sound. They did all the little things right. Got bunts down, executed hit and runs. Didn't give us any extra outs to play with.
one of the reasons why the Japan national team has won 2 of the 3 World Baseball Classics, and really the main reason why there is a Japan All-Star Series. Haven't seen one for a few years, since 2006. But they want to get ready for the 2017 World Baseball Classic. Obviously not satisfied with only winning 2 out of 3. Jose Altuve taking over for Chris Carter, his teammate at second base. And Dexter Fowler, his other teammate, on at first. On the ground, left side. Nice play at short just to get there, but Sakamoto's got no play, and the bases are loaded with 1 out.
And the last hitter you want to see coming into the box. Robinson Cano, 2 for 2.
And with Altuve in the game, you'd think maybe there's a chance that John Farrell makes a switch, but maybe not. Not with the bases loaded, 1 out, and one of the best hitters on the planet stepping to the plate, who's already got 2 hits. His first pitch swinging in his first at bat, put together a terrific at bat. His second trip to the plate, and singled through the left side. So the bases are loaded, 1 out, top of the 5th inning. Altuve at third, Fowler at second, and Escobar is at first.
9 grand slams in Robinson Cano's career.
Igarashi just misses, 1 ball and no strikes. Didn't miss by much. And if you're a pitcher,
you need that.
You want those against Robinson Cano.
He wants that one back ball right there. He started him with a 2-seamer, just off. You see a replay of his first swing tonight, just an absolute laser, and then stays inside, shoots the ball left field for his second knock. He got a pitch to handle right there to make this count 1-1 that he probably wants back. See if he goes off speed here.
Igarashi's 1-1, breaking ball fouled off at the plate. Cano can't believe that one either.
You don't see too many 12-6ers. Almost look like the Ephus curveball right there.
And Jose Altuve in as a pinch runner, taking over for Chris Carter, so he figures to take over at second base when the Major League All-Stars go back in the field in the bottom of the 5th inning. Having at least a 2-0 lead, but looking for more here in the 5th with the bases loaded and 1 out. And a 1-2 pitch from Igarashi to Cano. Stays alive.
Tried to throw the old 2-seamer that Greg Maddux made famous for the Atlanta Braves, the old paralyzer. Start that 2-seamer at the lefty's front hip and let it come back.
That's the 2-seamer that all others are measured by, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, at least in recent memory. Again, the 1-2. Breaking ball misses.
Well, the MO for the Japanese team is to crowd the major league team hitters. Seen a lot of pitches to both lefties and righties on the inner half.
Major leaguers trying to break it open in the 5th. The 2-2. Got him looking on the outside corner. Big strikeout of Robinson Cano.
And that's what that does. Crowding A good hitter like Robinson Cano with fastballs, two-seamers in, curveballs in off the plate. Goes a little backdoor cutter right there. Robinson thinks that's a foot outside, but that's got plate.
Similar spot to the first pitch of the at-bat that was called a ball. So we went right back to the area he tried to get strike one, and he gets strike three. Evan Longoria next. First pitch swinging in the air, center field, hit well. Going back is Maeda, and it's gone. A grand slam for Evan Longoria to blow this game open. It's 6-0. Three career grand slams in the major leagues for Evan Longoria, and one tonight in Japan. And I guess that's the depth of this major league lineup. You strike out Cano, you think you might be out of the woods. Not so much.
And you get ambushed by one of the best right-hand hitters in our sport, Evan Longoria. First pitch swinging. That's what makes him so effective. Wasn't just bailing and wailing, trying to hit something in the left field seats. Stayed square, played with the big part of the field. Took what appeared to be a little slider cutter and drove it out to right center.
Carlos Santana struck out in the second and grounded into a double play in the fourth. And quickly down to the count, 0-2. I'm going to guess whoever takes over for Joe Maddon in Tampa Bay, we're going to have a good time putting Evan Longoria's name in the lineup every night. Terry Francona knows how hard it is to pitch against that guy. Santana, a big swing and a miss for strikeout and out number 3, but Longoria's grand slam, a big blow in the inning to make it a 6-0 lead for the major leaguers. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Back with you, some notable Japanese-born players Obviously, Ichiro, 14 terrific years. 10-time All-Star, was an MVP back in 2001. Hideo Nomo burst on the scene. A couple of no-hitters to his credit. Hideki Matsui, a World Series MVP in 2009. And Jeremy Guthrie.
Game 7 starter.
Yeah,
Jeremy Guthrie.
That's right.
Changes everything.
Happy to be in Japan. Tweeted out that he's in the home of his ancestry. Comes in to pitch here in the bottom of the 5th inning, replacing Chris Capuano, who was really good. 4 innings, a hit, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. So Guthrie will face 5, 6, and 7 in this Tigers-Giants lineup. Murata pops this one up right side. A foot in the foul territory. Morneau puts it away. 1 out.
Guthrie had a great second half for the Kansas City Royals. Ned Yost entrusting him with the start of Game 7 of the World Series against the San Francisco Giants. Talking to Jeremy throughout the course of the World Series in the second half, changed a lot of his grips. Working with James Shields in the bullpen on his slider, cutter. Can still run that 4-seamer up there into the mid-90s.
Ayada Ito, the left fielder, takes a called strike. I mean, Guthrie's a seasoned veteran, obviously. Been around for a while. This one in the air, left field. In a couple of steps is the new left fielder, Lucas Duda, to put that one away for out number 2. But James Shields really changed the landscape of that rotation in Kansas City.
He really did. A workhorse. 8 years in a row with 200+ innings, and finds himself out on the free agent market. Some team's going to be certainly happy to sign James Shields. Not only getting a great pitcher, but getting a guy with tremendous work ethic, a leader, culture changer.
I guess if there's one thing to be a little bit skeptical about, it would be his October. Would that scare you off if you're a GM?
It wouldn't scare me off, especially with Max Scherzer asking for what he's asking for.
Sure.
John Lester with no compensation pick attached to him, so he's going to be highly sought after. Shields kind of falls into that number 3 slot in free agent pitchers.
Swing and a miss. Taishi Ota. New defense. A couple of new defenders behind Guthrie. Ben Zobrist is at second. You saw Lucas Duda make the play in left field. Eduardo Nunez moves to third. Jose Altuve stays in the game and plays short.
Guthrie continuing right where Capuano left off. Both of them look extremely sharp. Chris Capuano went 4 strong.
Yeah,
really did. 1 hit.
He'll come back around for Game 4 of the All-Star Series. Jeremy Guthrie getting some work. He'll go in Game 3. Pauses at the top of his delivery and breaks the bat. Zobrist gets a chance at second and gets the out. So a 1-2-3 inning for Jeremy Guthrie as the Major Leaguers have a 6-0 lead. take you back a few years. Chuck Finley got things going for the major leaguers. And Randy Johnson was able to finish this thing off. One of the last times that major leaguers went over to Japan. A couple of tough lefties. Johnson finished this off and knew it right off the bat as Jesse Barfield put this one away. A combined no-hitter for the big leaguers. 1990. Randy Johnson's been a part of a few of those. I mean, man.
I was in the lineup when he threw the perfect game in Atlanta. And you could ask anyone in that dugout, I think by the top third, we kind of figured.
Kershaw-esque.
Yeah, we kind of figured someone better throw a lawn dart out there somewhere, or we're going to be in the history books.
Yeah, between Finley and Randy Johnson, you're looking at roughly 14 feet worth of pitchers. It's Robinson Cano done for the day, but a hard hit single back in the first. He's got a couple of hits to his credit this evening. Obviously the big blow, the grand slam off the bat of Evan Longoria. That's why the major leaguers have a 6-0 lead. See Lucas Duda with a helmet and the bat. He actually takes over in that number 2 hole for the Major League All-Stars for Robinson Cano. Takes over in left field. Longoria also out of the lineup. Eduardo Nunez, as we showed you before, takes over at third. So this is the part of the game where John Farrell makes it difficult on those scoring at home and switches up the lineup card. But as he mentioned prior to the ball game, just wants to get everybody out there, get everybody a chance to get the blood flowing in Japan. Yasiel Puig stays in this ball game. Singled in a run back in the 4th inning. 1 for 2 this evening. And another new pitcher for Japan. That's Takumi Ikiyama. Delivers low and away, 1-0. Not the best of swings for Yasiel Puig. Count even up 1 ball and 1 strike. One pitch, skied center field. Maeda there, and there's 1 away. Take a look at what Yasiel Puig did in year 2. Productive yet again, offensively and defensively, on the base. I mean, he's a 5-tool player.
He really is. This is the beauty of this guy, number 66, Yasiel Puig. Can do so many things to impact the ball game from the offensive and defensive standpoint. You just wait for him to get a few years under his belt, mature a little bit, not give away so many at bats at the plate. Still threw out a miraculous season.
Justin Morneau looks at a breaking ball. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Morneau 0 for 2. Struck out swinging in the 2nd and looking in the 4th. Morneau's the type of guy who can hit anywhere, but with that type of power, I would think that it's fun to hit in Colorado.
Certainly on that pitch right there. Saw a curveball pop up above the belt. He was all in. Just missed it.
Robinson Cano, a couple of hits tonight. His day is done. He'll gear up for the All-Star Series against Samurai Japan, which begins tomorrow. Morneau swings and misses. And he has been struck out 3 times tonight. 2 away here in the 6th.
That's Akiyama's go-to pitch right there. The fork ball again. Nasty pitch. You see here from back behind home plate. Gives the impression of being a fastball. Once you commit, it's too late. That ball falls off the table into the dirt. You've seen a bunch of guys strike out early in this game on similar pitches.
It's a good look. You can see the camera mounted on the helmet of home plate umpire Fumihiro Yoshimoto. Sal Perez takes ball 1. That's a look that just gives the rest of us laymen a look at how hard it is to hit a pitch. I mean, there's a reason I was done after high school. I'm kind of convinced that you're going to have to physically remove Sal Perez from this ball game. I mean, again, this is the time of the game where John Farrell's making some changes. He's already changed 3 or 4 guys in the lineup.
Oh, that ball's hammered.
Sal Perez to straightaway center field. Maybe that's why he left him in. It's a solo home run for Sal Perez. 7-0. All right, so give John Farrell credit for that. As I'm ready to take Perez out.
Yeah, right now Eric Kratz and Drew Butera are lobbying to John Farrell. Get me in this ball game.
Yeah.
You see right here, replay. Fastball right down the middle, and Sal Perez did not miss it. An absolute bomb to dead center field in Koshien Stadium.
Showed that 20.25 ERA for Akiyama, but in limited duty in 2014. 3 games and 2 starts. Just 6 2/3 innings pitched. Our first look at Jose Altuve in the batter's box. Took over as a pinch runner in the 5th inning for Chris Carter. Swings and misses, and it's 0-2.
225 hits for Jose Altuve this year. Seemed like every night you looked in the box score, this guy was throwing out 2, 3 knocks a night, stealing some bags. Good take right there. Fork ball down.
It seemed like you saw multi-hit games from Jose Altuve every night or every other night. But one thing that you've never seen is him play shortstop in a big league ball game. Now he takes over at short. Down to the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball in there for a called strike 3, but add 1 more as Sal Perez goes to straightaway center. 7-0.
occasionally moonlighting with Kevin and Chris Rose.
It's Potential Talk weekdays on MLB Network, presented by the United States Marine Corps. Koshien Stadium.
Matter of fact,
yeah,
I did an interview with Japanese-born Munenori Kawasaki that went viral.
Yes, it did.
Off Intentional Talk.
Yes.
One of my favorite teammates of all time. Taught us a lot about the Japanese culture.
He seems like a fun dude to hang out with.
He's awesome. Not only that, he can play.
Yeah. We move to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Major League All-Stars with a 7-0 lead. As Ryutaro Meno will lead things off against the new pitcher from the St. Louis Cardinals, Randy Choate.
Randy Choate, 39 years old, been in the big leagues a long time. Kind of that lefty out of the pen for Mike Matheny, matchup purposes. Two-seamer away, big sweepy slider. You're going to have to try and take this guy up the middle the other way if you're going to have success as a right-handed hitter, unless he hangs you something out over the middle of the plate.
I mentioned before about all these guys, especially that have pitched in the postseason, all these extra innings added to their arms. I'm thinking Randy Choate's in pretty good shape. 36 innings under his belt. Right? Man, it's like
there is no off season for Randy Choate.
The definition of a lefty specialist. You keep track of how many nights he threw one pitch, got out of a jam.
There's Drew Butera behind the dish.
Sal Perez night is done as he tacked on another run for the Major League All-Stars with that solo home run to straightaway center field. A brand new battery for the Major Leaguers here in the 6th. What does Eric Kratz have to do to get into a game? Paul, I mean, it's like being the backup behind Yadier Molina. You never play.
Gonna be honest with you, Paul. I think he's playing first base right now.
Swing and a miss. Randy Choate with a strikeout. One away here in the 6th. You are correct. Eric Kratz is at first. So he did find his way into the ball game.
What a great view right there. He saw a two-seam fastball from Randy Choate for strike 3.
So a brand new infield from how we started this ball game. Nunez, Altuve, Zobrist, and Kratz third to first. As Maeda takes a called strike. Maeda singled back in the 3rd. The only hit to this point for the joint team of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants. 0-2.
Hear those thunder sticks going crazy in the crowd. Good pitch right there.
Big blow in this ball game was a grand slam off the bat of Evan Longoria. After the Major Leaguers scored a couple of runs in the 4th, they had a 4-run 5th and added another in the 6th to blow this thing open to a 7-0 advantage. The 2-2 misses. 3-2.
Nothing right here. 3-2 count. 100% fastball right here.
Just misses. Choate wanted that one, didn't get it, and it's a 1-out walk. And now for the guys on the right side of the screen, even for Chris Carter in the middle, they just get to kind of enjoy the view here. Their portion of the night is done. Bit of an exhibition game here again before the All-Star Series really begins in earnest. A 5-game series between Samurai Japan, essentially a national all-star team, up against the big league all-stars. A 5-game series. They'll play on the 12th, travel day on the 13th, 3 games at the Tokyo Dome, 14th, 15th, and 16th, and a travel day on the 17th before Game 5 at the Sapporo Dome on November 18th. In the air to right center field, Dexter Fowler puts it away. 4-out number 2.
And really looking forward to Game 2 to see Asashi Iwakuma get on the mound against his countrymen.
Yeah.
Another great season for Iwakuma, 15-9 with a 3.52. Teammates with Robinson Cano, King Felix. Again, Seattle taking it all the way down to the last week before being eliminated from that wild card spot.
Yeah, the atmosphere good tonight, and the place will certainly be hopping once the All-Star Series truly gets underway.
Well, if we've learned anything in the first 6 innings, a home plate umpire is giving about 6 inches off the inside half. Keep going there.
That's right. Line drive toward the corner, gets down. Duda will play it off the wall. And here comes the first run of the night. It's 7-1. An RBI double for Hiroki Uemoto. Closes the gap to a 6-run deficit here in the 6th.
This is a nice piece of hitting right there. Got a fastball elevated from Randy Choate. Felt high, turned on it down a left field line for an RBI double.
So the ribby for Uemoto, and now he is in scoring position. Katsuhiko Osaka comes in, his first at bat of the night, taking over for Sakamoto, who was 0 for 1.
You think he's telling his manager, hey Skip, do I have to get put in against the submarine lefty?
Here comes the 1-0, misses low and in, 2-0. Played in 96 games for the Hanshin Tigers, who lost 4 games to 1 in the Japan series. Weak hack, 2-1. Chop foul.
He's going to have to battle now, not looking too comfortable in the box. Again, just a tough matchup for a left-handed batter. He could throw the sweeping slider right now. He could stay hard away. He could do a lot of different things.
This will be the 22nd pitch of the inning for Randy Choate. Told you they love their baseball. They're down 7-1 in the 6th. In the air, center field, Dexter Fowler. Can of corn for him. But the joint team of the Tigers and Giants get on the board. Uemoto's RBI double makes it 7-1. Welcome back. Quick history here of the All-Star Series. Since 1986, the Major Leaguers 48 wins compared to Japan's 29 series wins, as Japan won the best of 8 series back in 1990. That was the same year they got no hit, however, by Chuck Finley and Randy Johnson. Some rules and regulations. Each roster has 29 players. 28 are active for each game. 2 umpires from Major League Baseball and 2 from Nippon Professional Baseball. Chris Conroy, Mike Winters from the big leagues. The DH rule, of course, in effect. Now, the tiebreaker scenario tonight, not in effect for this first game. We're not going more than 9. Games will end in a draw after 12. So something to get into as the All-Star Series gets underway with Game 1 would be those extra inning scenarios. Dexter Fowler takes low, and it's 1-0. Fowler grounded in with a double play back in the 3rd. Singled in the 5th. Center field and hit well. Going back and out of room. Another home run to straightaway center field for the big leaguers. It's 8-1.
Dexter Fowler showing some power right there to dead center. Following up on Sal Perez's homer to dead center and Evan Longoria's grand slam as well. All seem to be landing in that same jet stream. We came in thinking Koshien Stadium was going to play super big. And the MLB team is making it look small right now.
Going to the big part of the yard. So a welcome to the ball game for Kiyosuke Tagagi. Second pitch of the outing for him. Dexter Fowler goes yard, straight away center, and it's a 7-run cushion yet again. Ben Zobrist with his first at bat as he takes over for Alcides Escobar in the batting order, at least, but playing second base.
It's the perfect player, Ben Zobrist, for John Farrell to be able to move. You're going to see him in the outfield. You're going to see him at second base. He can play anywhere on the diamond pretty much. Shortstop. Oh, and by the way, he could swing the stick as well. Here's a replay. Fastball up, out over the plate. Dexter Fowler stays to the big part of the plate. Big part of the park, and hits an absolute bomb to dead center. That ball 400 plus.
And that's 3 balls that have gotten out in a hurry. The 0-2 to Ben Zobrist. Did he go? He did. 1 away. Another look at the home run from Dexter Fowler. Again, we talked about it before with the Houston Astros trying to turn things around and stay in the win column a little bit more often. And when they made that trade for Dexter Fowler, that was one of those things where you said, all right, now maybe they're starting to compile the players that are going to be around when this team turns into a winner if the plan goes right.
Absolutely. A great athlete, Dexter Fowler. You could tell right there, getting the hinges all working in unison, driving that ball out to center field.
So Eduardo Nunez getting his first at bat. The new third baseman. On the ground, base hit through the left side.
Eduardo, nice piece of hitting right there. Another guy like Ben Zobrist that offers John Farrell the ability to play multiple positions on the diamond.
So Cano had 2 hits. Now Eduardo Nunez with a knock. 3 hits out of that 2 spot in the lineup tonight for John Farrell. It's past the new third baseman Terrucci. Our first look at Lucas Duda. First pitch swinging, fouls it back 0-1.
An absolute breakout season for Lucas Duda this year. 30 homers, 92 ribbies. Seemed to just take off when they traded Ike Davis to Pittsburgh. Kind of freed him up, gave him a Terry Collins in the Mets brass, showing a vote of confidence for Lucas Duda, and he really thrived. Had a monster season for the Mets.
Yeah, that seemed to be a tough call. You know, which left-handed power hitter are they going to keep? Which are they going to trade away? And with the numbers that Duda put up at the end of the year, looks as though they might have made the right choice. 0-1. Down the left field line, it'll reach the seats. Closer look. I mean, this trade was done early. There, you don't see a lot of trades in mid-April, but this was one of them. 27 home runs to just 10 for Ike Davis. Almost doubled up the RBIs. The Mets, as you made the point, made the right choice.
Now you look at it with the addition of Michael Kadire. You're going to get a better year out of Granderson, a healthy David Wright, Daniel Murphy. That lineup got a heck of a lot deeper.
Terrific young pitching staff as well. Jacob deGrom taking home the National League Rookie of the Year.
Get Matt Harvey back.
Wheeler, Harvey, deGrom. It's not a bad front three.
Go out and get Troy Tulowitzki and we're talking.
Lucas Duda swings and misses, but the ball gets away. And Duda will reach first. Nunez moves up to second.
Nunez will go back to first. Oh, no, he will not go back to first, but Lucas Duda's out.
First base occupied, yes, with less than 2 outs. No surprise to see Eduardo Nunez with his helmet off of his head. That thing rarely stays on going down the line. He's on second base now with 2 outs. And Carlos Santana steps to the dish. Santana struck out in the second and the fifth and grounded into a double play in the fourth. His manager with the Cleveland Indians, Terry Francona, on the coaching staff for John Farrell. Can't check his swing. 1-1.
You got 25-year-old Paul Seiji Kobayashi behind the plate. Just watching him right now, he looks like a spitting image of Kenji Jojima, Seattle Mariner catcher for many years. On cue, we
Yeah,
get
I can
close
see it.
up.
I can see it. The 2-1 to Santana, misses. 3 balls and 1 strike. Some, not all, of the players that are on this joint team of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants will be on the Samurai Japan squad. And that one misses to Santana. He'll take his base. So 2 on and 2 out here in the 7th. And this is the Japanese professional baseball 80th anniversary game. Make a pitching change here in the 7th with 2 on and 2 out. You can see game 1 right here on MLB Network. Matt Shoemaker will get the start at the Kyocera Dome in Osaka. Pitching change here at Koshien Stadium. We'll be back. Visit the official online shop of Major League Baseball at MLB.com/shop for the largest selection of authentic caps, t-shirts, hoodies, collectibles, and more. Get your gear straight from the source. MLB.com/shop. Paul Severino, Mark DeRosa, back with you as Yasiel Puig steps up with 2 runners aboard and 2 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Major League All-Stars with an 8-1 lead. As Sayuchi takes over here in the top of the 7th to try to limit the damage. 1 run already home in this inning. A leadoff home run for Dexter Fowler. We get an RBI single back in the 4th inning. And the 0-1. He doesn't get cheated. He'll take a big hack.
There's not many pitches Yasiel Puig doesn't like to swing at, especially up. Got to believe you're going to see something off speed in the dirt.
Eduardo Nunez on second. Carlos Santana on at first. As Puig takes upstairs 1 and 2.
Tried to steal that heater away.
On the ground left side. Oh, nice play by Tarucci. Goes the short way. That ball might have caught him, but he'll take the out nonetheless. Another run comes home in the inning. Dexter Fowler goes to straightaway center field. And the Major League All-Stars in control of Koshien Stadium. Welcome back. Chris Capuano got the start, went 4 innings, gave up a hit, and looked really crisp despite the fact that he hasn't started a game or pitched in a game since late September.
Yeah, he really did. He had command of his fastball. He had good off speed. Really pitched well. You know, you never know what you're going to get. You throw a couple bullpen sessions after.
Major League All-Star. This is seen in between innings as all the fans letting loose the balloons. Again, a terrific scene. Carlos Santana, Robinson Cano, Sal Perez, Alcides Escobar, 4 guys in the starting lineup. Evan Longoria in the back, hit that big grand slam to really blow this game open.
And again, on Chris Capuano, it goes back. He set the tone. He came out with good command of his fastball, breaking stuff.
Yeah, this was in between innings. So yeah, it's a lively atmosphere. It's really awesome. They don't. It doesn't matter if it's 8-1 or not. They are having a good time at the yard. Franklin Morales will come into pitch here in the bottom of the 7th inning and try to protect that 8-1 lead for the Major League All-Stars.
Kind of a down year for Franklin this year. 6-9, ERA of 5.37. But he's got nasty stuff when he's on top of his game. Big breaking ball right there. Can rush his fastball up into the mid-upper 90s at times.
This one is hit on the ground. Nunez in front of Altuve and on to first for out number 1. So obviously they're using 2 different types of baseballs in this ball game. While the joint team of Hanshin and Yomiuri are fielding, the official Nippon Professional Baseball will be used. Once we get to the Japan All-Star Series, they'll be using the Rawlings baseball that was used in the 2013 World Baseball Classic. And obviously, as we mentioned before, Japan wanted to have this series so that they could get ready for that 2017 WBC. Face some good competition, but trying to keep the baseball straight. Whoever's on that job is earning their paycheck tonight.
Absolutely. Coming fresh out of the cellophane right there. Got to be a little tackier.
Yeah.
Watch a lot of these Japanese guys have great breaking stuff, great split fingers, fork balls. The WBC ball's a little slicker. Don't get that nasty breaking rotation that you will on the Japanese ball.
And that's always one of the questions. I mean, workload is another topic of discussion, but when the big time Japanese pitchers come over from Nippon Professional Baseball over to the big leagues, Masahiro Tanaka, Yu Darvish, Daisuke Matsuzaka, I mean, at least right out of the gates, the baseball, the workload hasn't really been an issue. I mean, you know, 3-4 years down the road, maybe it's a different story, line foul, but you know, you get used to throwing a different baseball, and I guess you settle in and talent takes over.
Absolutely. Especially with the likes of Yu Darvish, perennial 200 inning guy. You heard him talk this year, given the idea of potentially a 6-man rotation.
Takayuki Teruchi up the middle. Zobrist can't handle it. And he's aboard with 1 out here in the 7th.
Yeah, play Ben Zobrist right here. He makes in his sleep most of the time. You don't know if that all dirt infield had anything to do. Maybe he got a bad hop, but shouldn't be for him playing down at the Trop.
Yeah, that's true.
All turf infield and then goes to dirt. One of the oddest infield surfaces you'll play on in the big leagues.
Teruchi off of first as Ito takes outside. Ito is 0 for 2 this evening. He struck out back in the 2nd and flew out in the 5th. Just looking at the major league roster, a couple of lefties already in this ball game. I guess more than that. Now 3 lefties have pitched in this ball game, and they've got a handful or more on their roster. Not sure how much matching up John Farrell thinks about doing as this series goes on. This one floated into center field, falls in front of Fowler. No play at second base. Long run in for Fowler, long run out for Altuve, and it falls in for a 1-out knock, 2 aboard.
It's a beautiful thing sometimes. Big breaking ball. Just lays the bat head on it, finds some real estate out there. You see Ichiro do that about 200 times a year in his career.
It's true.
Mixed in with some lasers and homers.
Yeah, yeah. So 2 runners aboard and 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Nice block there by Drew Butera.
Taishi Ota 0 for 2 this evening. Tries to crack into that 7-run deficit for the joint team of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants against Franklin Morales in the 7th. Called strike.
There's that zone again inside. He's consistent behind the plate. He's given about 6 inches off that inside corner.
I love this camp. It's not a look that we often see. Ota in the air. Right center field. Gets down and off the wall. Puig bobbles it. Throws in. And Ota's got himself an RBI. Make that 2 RBIs on the triple, and it's now 8-3. So an already excited crowd will certainly love a 2 RBI triple.
Just a nice piece of hitting. Looked like a was trying to go backdoor cutter. Crept out over the middle of the plate. Didn't try and do too much. Stayed inside the baseball and drove it into the right center gap for a 2 RBI triple. Get them back in the ball game. 8-3.
Seiji Kobayashi gets his first at bat as he takes over behind the plate for Ryutaro Umeno. Saw him behind the plate in the last half inning. On the ground, they'll get another run home. Altuve to first, and an RBI ground out makes it 8-4.
That's what you're supposed to do, man. On third, less than 2 outs. Infield back. Take that free RBI right there. Nice job.
Talked about this playing as a big ballpark. Those gaps are huge. A lot of ground to cover. Dexter Fowler can cover some ground, but even he couldn't get there. Neither could Puig. Yamato Maeda. A base hit and a walk to his credit tonight. And down on the count 0-2. This 3-run inning, the crowd's been in the game every half inning that the Tigers-Giants team has been batting, but this one even more so. Line drive over the head of Zobrist for a base hit. The bats have come to life here in the 7th.
Comes Mike Maddox. Try and settle down Franklin Morales.
Always with the hand on the shoulder, the pat on the chest. Seen Mike Maddox. There's John Farrell. Told you Terry Francona also on his coaching staff. Brian Butterfield with the Boston Red Sox, the third base coach. Marlo Hale has been coaching first, also the bench coach for the Toronto Blue Jays. Juan Nieves making the trip as well.
Yeah, what an atmosphere right now. Like you said, the bats have come to life. These fans have gotten excited. Sometimes you just got to let it breathe, Paul.
Well, they had 1 hit through the first 5, notched a hit in the 6th, and now so far in this inning, 4 hits. 2 singles before the 2 RBI triple and a knock by Maeda, who's back safely at first.
And this won't necessarily be the guys they'll face from Team Samurai Japan. A lot of young guys from the Hanshin Tigers and the Yomiuri Giants getting a chance to play against big leaguers and representing themselves well. A few stars sprinkled in.
Morales set for the 2-0 pitch, and Koshien Stadium toward the gap in left center field. That gets down. Fowler cuts it off. And here comes Maeda. Throw home. Not in time. It's 8-5.
I think we're going to see a pitching change here.
They have gotten to Franklin Morales in this 7th inning.
A nice piece of hitting again. Double in the gap.
So now Cano off for second base. Morales stays in the ball game. As Hiroki Umioto steps to the plate. An RBI double down the line in his last at bat. Takes a called strike.
Umoto 276, 7 homers, but one of the big parts of his game, speed guy. 20 stolen bases this year for the Hanshin Tigers.
One pitch, shoots it foul. 1-2. Rough go here in this 7th for Franklin Morales. After Chris Capuano was terrific through 4, Jeremy Guthrie pitched a clean 5th. Randy Choate surrendered a run in the 6th. And already 4 runs home in this inning. Dumped into left center field. That's a base hit. And Cano will come in to score. It's now an 8-6 ball game. What a huge inning.
Yeah, nothing else you could say. Here you see John Farrell coming out to make the pitching change. The Japanese team just stringing together good at bats, one after the other, doing the little things, hitting some balls in the gap, getting men in scoring position. Just not trying to do too much. Passing the baton, it's working out for him with a huge 5-run inning.
That's going to do it for Franklin Morales. As Farrell goes to the pen, we'll be right back. Here's your chance to own a piece of history. Bid now on game used memorabilia from the 2014 Japan All-Star Series at www.mlb.com/Japan AS auction. Koshien Stadium, and a 7th inning that has really gotten this joint squad of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants back in the ball game. Franklin Morales started the inning. He goes 2/3 of an inning, 6 hits, one of which this 2 RBI triple to the gap in right center field off the bat of Taishi Ota. But 6 hits and 5 runs thus far. And the Tigers and Giants not yet done. Taka Wada, their manager, has to like what he sees. Miota with the 6th hit of the inning. He's on at first base as another lefty comes out of that Major League All-Star bullpen. Jerry Blevins of the Washington Nationals. Katsuhiko Saka takes ball 1.
Jerry Blevins got a taste of the postseason this year against the Giants in a division series. Went 3 1/3 scoreless innings. He had a great year this year. The ERA 4.87, a little high, but innings pitched 57 1/3, struck out 66 batters, only gave up 48 hits. That classic funky lefty delivery out of the bullpen. Tough arm angle. Ball gets on you a little harder than you think, with a good breaking ball.
John Farrell has seen his 8-1 lead really evaporate, as now the tying run is up in a 2-0 count here in the 7th, making a 3-0 count as Jerry Blevins has yet to throw a strike. Boy, things have changed in a hurry here in the 7th. Fastball for a 3-1 count now.
See if Saka gets aggressive right here.
Pops it up. Butera gives it a look and runs out of room. The inning started innocently with a ground ball to the left side, but then single, triple, and RBI ground out. Single, double, single, and then finally John Farrell came out to take the ball from Franklin Morales. The 3-2 pitch in the air. Left field, Lucas Duda puts it away. But the joint team of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants really slice into this deficit. A 2 RBI triple, part of a huge 5-run inning. And all of a sudden, it's 8-6. We're back after this. Welcome back. You know, a lot of players have come over from Japan. Few have made the impact on the game that Ichiro Suzuki has. The MVP of the American League in 2001, was the Rookie of the Year that same year, closing in on 3,000 hits just in the major leagues, over 4,000 total, and one of a number of successful postings. A posting bid of 13.1. Obviously, the posting process has changed between then and now, but a terrific career for Ichiro, and not sure what he's got left in the tank, but boy, oh boy, has he been fun to watch over these last decade and a half.
Yeah, someone's got to give him a shot to get those 120 knocks to get to 3,000, no doubt. You look at that graphic right there. In 2 years, Masahiro Tanaka, $100 million more than Yu Darvish.
Game's changed a bit, I guess. Eric Kratz, who will get his first at bat since like 2004, I think it seems like.
They've adjusted the posting process.
Yes.
$20 million being the top posting bid for Masahiro Tanaka. That's as high as you can go.
And there was a little bit of back and forth with that, because it would be the team that would get the posting fee. So if the posting fee is higher, the team does better. And then, you know, the major league team that signs the guy still wants to put out that same, you know, roughly that same amount of cash. Let's just say it's $100 million for, whether it's Yu Darvish, Daisuke Matsuzaka, 50 for the posting ish, 50 for the contract. Now, obviously, the rules have changed a little bit. Again, as Mark mentioned, a maximum fee of $20 million. Post a player between November 1st and February 1st. Teams have 30 days after the posting to negotiate with the player. Most recent big name to do that, Masahiro Tanaka. Drew Butera fouls that one away. Eric Kratz led off the inning, and I joked that it was his first at bat in a while. Obviously, playing behind Sal Perez, didn't see much action or any action in the postseason. As a new pitcher on here for Japan in the 8th, but he gets the knock, actually taken over at first base as Eric Kratz, and Drew Butera now behind the plate.
There's so many stories about the posting of Tanaka, and I followed it closely. He came over to LA and rented a mansion and had all the GMs from all the different teams come and put their best foot forward before deciding on the Yankees at $155 million.
Then had a ginormous plane bring his family and his dog over as Butera looks at strike 3 for out number 1 here in the 8th.
And then lived up to the billing.
Yes.
No doubt lived up to the billing before an elbow injury sidelined him, but came back strong at the end.
One of the names that we're hearing may be one of the next to get posted, Kenta Maeda, who we'll see in the All-Star Series. He'll be pitching for Samurai Japan, not on this roster. And it's something to watch as those games get underway the next few days here on MLB Network.
And it would have been amazing to see Tanaka stay healthy for the Rookie of the Year chase against Jose Abreu, who was the unanimous winner last night. He would have given him a run for his money. That would have been one for the ages.
Upstairs to Altuve, throw down to second base. Eric Kratz tagged out.
Gotta believe someone missed a sign right there.
I would think.
I don't think Eric Kratz has got the green light.
A good pitch to throw on, too, upstairs. Kobayashi's throw to second. Uemoto applies the tag. And we'll see Maeda pitch tomorrow night against Matt Shoemaker at the Kyocera Dome in Osaka.
As a matter of fact, I know Eric Kratz doesn't have the green light. 0 career stolen bases.
Jose Altuve did not get the start at second base. That was Robinson Cano, but came on as a pinch runner and took over at shortstop, something he's never done in the big leagues. But playing some short and striking out here in the 8th inning. A clean 8th. So the Tigers and Giants still trail by 2 in the home half of the 8th. Welcome back. Game 1 of the All-Star Series. Samurai Japan will send Kenta Maeda to the mound. 2-1 with a .060 ERA in the 2013 World Baseball Classic. In 15 innings pitched, he had 18 strikeouts, allowed just 1 earned run. We're talking about him last half inning. He'll get the ball in Game 1 for Samurai Japan against Matt Shoemaker for the Big League All-Stars. A lot of talk as to whether or not Maeda will be the next to be posted in Japan, perhaps make an impact at the big league level the way that the Matsuzakas, the Darvishes, the Tanakas have done in recent years. Jerry Blevins is back out for his second inning of work. Got the last out of the 7th. A 5-run 7th, in fact. It misses low, ball 1. That group's been chatting all night long.
I was going to say, think Alcides Escobar is telling them about the World Series?
I would think that this is a great opportunity for the young guys like an Escobar to really pick the brain of a guy like a Cano or a Longoria or some of the veterans that are on the squad.
Absolutely.
You're there for a week. This isn't just an all-star game. You're there for a day. Take BP for a couple of days. You're there for a week.
Absolutely.
With the guy.
Especially because it's sprinkled throughout. You're not every one of these guys on the Major League All-Star roster has been to an All-Star game. I remember my time in '09 during the WBC, just to be in the same room as Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
And to hit in the same group. What a luxury to pick his brain.
Paul Severino, Mark DeRosa. An 8-6 ball game. It was 8-1 not long ago, but again a 5-run 7th inning for the joint team of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants of Nippon Professional Baseball has closed this to a 2-run gap right now. Takayuki Teruchi singled in his only at bat to this point. Took over for Shuichi Murata over at third. Takes ball 1.
This is what you worry about, walk the guy previous. When the regular season ends, do you shut the motor off and can you turn it back on super quick? I know going into WBC where it's played first 10 days, 2 weeks into Major League Baseball spring training, the hitters seem to adjust a heck of a lot quicker because the pitchers aren't necessarily ready.
Blevins deals the 1-1. Throw down to second base by Butera, not in time, and it's a stolen base.
Expand on that a little bit. The U.S. pitchers aren't necessarily ready. They're 10 days into spring training, probably thrown a couple bullpen sessions. Next thing you know, you find yourself in front of 50,000 playing Team Japan in the WBC. These guys are coming fresh off the season. You worry about that's what made Chris Capuano start. So awesome.
Yeah. To go 4 innings.
Strong command of everything.
In a ball game where John Farrell said he wanted to try to get everybody in. Line drive. Caught by Zobrist at second base. And retreating to second is Kanaoka. 1 away. I mean, sure, there was a double and a triple mixed into that 5-run inning, but a lot of the contact in that 7th was like that. Just the soft looping line drive just over the infield. They didn't crush him with too many hard hit balls.
Yeah, they give themselves a chance. They keep that bat head in the zone for a long period of time. You watch Ichiro go back. He almost had his bat in that strike zone from Jump Street. Just stay in there and could manipulate the ball anywhere he wanted to. They all look look like frozen ropes in the box score the next morning.
Very true. Been 8 hits so far, 6 of which came last inning. Blevins misses low. 9 hits, but 6 of them came last inning. Ito singled and scored back in that 5-run 7th. And now he's got a runner in scoring position as the tying run here in the bottom of the 8th. In there for a called strike.
Tough pitch right there. Total count changer. Heck of a lot different hitting in a 1-2 count than a 2-1. Got to bear down and grind right here.
And the 1-2 to Ito. Fights it off. Remains 1-2. Now, I don't profess to know exactly what the strike zone usually looks like in the Nippon Professional Baseball, but it's been a little bit above the belt today, somewhat regularly. Blevins stretches the zone a little lower there and gets Ito to chase 2 away.
I'll tell you what, though, you can live with the strike zone today because it's been very consistent.
Yes.
He's not given anything down. He's given about 6 inches off the plate inside to the righties, and the ball a little bit up. But you make the adjustment.
And as long as it's consistent, that's all a hitter wants. If you know where it's going to be, you're good with it. Taishi Ota digs in with a runner on second base and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. He delivered a 2 RBI triple back in the 7th. Line drive. Altuve can't handle it. Gets through to center field. And a run will score on the E6. It is a 1-run ball game.
Jose Altuve playing out of position right there. The ball will find you. Again, going back to what Paul mentioned early, just got an in-between hop right there. When you were talking about the all-dirt infield, just doesn't get down on it. Actually just whiffs it. No better explanation than that. Maybe some top spin on it.
So a crucial error leads to a run. John Farrell comes out to take out Jerry Blevins. The tying run is now on base with 2 outs in the 8th inning. And this has become a game rather quickly. Not long ago it was 8-1. Now it's 8-7 in the bottom of the 8th. Farrell's about to make a pitching change. We'll be right back. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Bottom of the 8th inning. Koshien Stadium. An 8-7 ball game. John Farrell goes back to the bullpen. Gary Blevins relieved of his duties. Thought he might have gotten out of that inning, but Jose Altuve unable to make a play, trickles into center field. Another run comes in, and now an 8-7 game with 2 outs in the 8th. Jose Veras will toe the slab and try to keep it at a 1-run lead before the MLB All-Stars get their last licks. Now, one thing we know, again, we're not going extra innings in this ball game. This is an exhibition game before the All-Star Series really gets underway. A 5-game series between Samurai Japan and the Big League All-Stars. Tap foul at the plate, 0-1.
You want to talk about a lot coming at you. Jose Veras, 6'6", 6'7", elbows, head, shoulders. He's got a lot of stuff coming at you, featuring a mid-90s fastball, curveball, changeup. It's usually the sign for a hold and a step off.
Check on Ota. He is back. So again, Ota had the 2 RBI triple, came around to score in the 7th inning, and had a hard hit ball towards short. Altuve ranged to his left, came up with nothing, went by him, and another run came in. Runner goes, throw to second, not in time, bounces past Zobrist. Ota didn't know where it was for a split second, so he'll stay at second.
No chance for Drew Butera right there. Ota had a huge lead at first base. Good jump. Steals that bag easily.
Second stolen base of the inning. Kataoka led off with a walk, stole second, eventually came around to score on that E6 for Jose Altuve. And it'll be a 1-1 pitch to Kobayashi. Veras misses outside, 2-1. And the Houston Astros well represented in Japan. Veras, Altuve, Fowler, Chris Carter, and Veras trying to keep it a 1-run lead. Throw down to second behind the runner who took a huge lead. So Butera picks off Ota, and it remains 8-7 going to the 9th. Welcome back as the Samurai Japan squad will take on the Major League All-Stars in a 5-game series starting Wednesday, 4 a.m. Eastern from the Kyocera Dome in Osaka. Then a travel day, 3 games at the Tokyo Dome, another travel day, and then Game 5 at the Sapporo Dome, 5 a.m. Eastern Time on the 18th of November, and then one more exhibition game, 4 a.m. on the 20th. Paul Severino, Mark DeRosa with you. Here's how the bottom of the 8th ended.
You want to talk about a huge play by Drew Butera working with Ben Zobrist, back pick. Ota had a huge lead to steal second base. He must have contemplated taking third right there. Must have had a huge secondary lead. Drew Butera, that's stuff you work on in spring training. And in the bottom of the 8th, able to wiggle their way out of it with a great fundamental back pick.
That again was the tying run as we move to the top of the 9th inning.
Love to know if there was a sign, if John Farrell and his staff went over signs, if that was called by Zobrist or Butera, or that was just a daylight play where Ben Zobrist really saw to getting a little too much. Threw his right hand out and got the back pick to get out of a scary 8th.
Ryoma Matsuda comes in to pitch the top of the 9th to face Dexter Fowler, who takes a called strike. Fowler homered in the 7th, and right now that's the difference in this ball game. Sub-2 ERA, obviously just 9 games for Matsuda in the Nippon Professional Baseball regular season. In the dirt and off the mask of Kobayashi.
Dex going all 9 tonight.
Yeah, we talked about that early in this ball game. The roster of the Major League All-Stars not exactly stacked with true outfielders. Yasiel Puig's another guy who's been in the ball game the entire way. The only guys that are listed as the true outfielders, obviously Lucas Duda can play some outfield and took over in left field for Chris Carter, who started in left. Fowler in the air, right center field, and there's one away. Off the bat sounded halfway decent. Maybe just got under it or off the end of the bat.
I always look at a hitter's reaction right there. Kind of knew he caught it off the end of the bat a little bit. Still a gorgeous swing.
Ben Zobrist takes a called strike.
His home run from the right side. You saw the replay on that to dead center. Ball came off the bat and he kind of dropped his shoulders like he knew that ball was leaving.
Yeah. That ball was hit hard. The Sal Perez home run hit hard in the 6th, and the Evan Longoria grand slam back in the 5th, helping to account for the 8 runs for the Major League All-Stars, but they are clinging to an 8-7 lead here in the 9th. Now again, we're not going extra innings. The anniversary game, that's tonight, and the exhibition game, which is on the 20th, not going to go extra innings. They will end in a draw if need be.
Funny, I look at Ben Zobrist, you see the Tampa Bay Rays, Evan Longoria is there. Can they continue with the departure over the years of James Shields, of David Price, and now Joe Madden, their skipper, leaving? Can they continue?
And Andrew Friedman,
Friedman.
Yeah, but a base hit into left field for Ben Zobrist.
Can they continue to win in the AL East?
It'd be an interesting thing to follow this year.
Still
sure.
have Alex Cobb. Going to get Matt Moore back from injury. Chris Archer's nasty. They definitely have the arms.
There's been some Hellickson rumors the last couple of days too.
So Arizona maybe.
Yeah. Rays will certainly have a new look. Getting close to interviewing double digits in managers at this point.
So Raul Banez's name in there.
Where are you? Have you gotten a phone call yet?
No, I have not gotten a phone call.
What are they waiting?
I'm here with you, Paul.
That's when you know you've sunk too low. Eduardo Nunez singled back in the 7th inning. That was his first at bat. Playing third base. Takes over in the number 2 hole that Robinson Cano began the night in. Cano had a couple of hits. Cano's been a spectator since the 7th. And hasn't budged from that side of the dugout either. Seems to be quite comfortable in that hoodie. 2-0 to Nunez. In the air, right field, moving toward the seats and running out of room is the other Cano. 2-1. This crowd's been into it all night long. They will certainly be into it once the Samurai Japan team gets going against these big league all-stars. But it'll be interesting what the bottom of the 9th sounds like. I mean, they were rolling when it was 8-1. Sashi Iwakuma will go in game 2 in Tokyo. Matt Shoemaker will get the start tomorrow night. You can make a case Iwakuma one of the more underrated pitchers in baseball.
Oh. Certainly hides out there on the West Coast in Seattle and behind King Felix, but get in a box, ask any big leaguer who stepped in the box against Iwakuma. Nasty. Home plate ump has taken some shots tonight.
He has. I think the camera's doing okay though, so that's good.
Like to get the angle on that right there.
Another check on Zobrist at first. Again, not everybody that's on this joint squad of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants will also be on the Samurai Japan team, so they're enjoying every minute of it for sure. Ground ball through the left side to base hit. That's 2 knocks tonight for Eduardo Nunez. 2 aboard, 1 out in the 9th.
Two nice ABs by Zobrist and Eduardo Nunez. Get Lucas Duda to play with runners at scoring position. Maybe he can get into one, allow the major league team to breathe a little bit.
Yeah, some power coming up. Lucas Duda, Carlos Santana behind him, Yasiel Puig if it gets that far. Duda struck out in his first at bat in the 7th inning. Came in on defense for Chris Carter. Replaces Evan Longoria in the batting order. Healthy cut comes up empty. 0-1.
Yeah, I'd say he wants that back right there.
Matsuda heading the count 0-2 to Lucas Duda.
Challenging him with fastballs.
Wants to keep this within striking distance if they can. Been playing catch up since the 4th inning. The 0-2 to Duda. Misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Kobayashi was set up in the right-handed batter's box for that pitch right there.
Matsuda hit his target. That was way out there. That'll reach the seats.
Duda getting his timing locked in. A little late right now. Again, 30 homers on the year, 28 of them against right-handed pitchers. 30 homers in Citi Field. I know they're moving the fences in this year again.
Yeah.
Didn't seem to bother him.
No, not at all. Keep moving them in. It's got to affect the pitchers at some point, right? I mean,
keep moving them in.
You want some offense, but swing and a miss. Duda goes down swinging for the second time tonight.
It's the nasty pitch right there. Executed. Threw him 3 fastballs and then drops that nasty slider right there. It's more of a cutter action. Right under the bat of Lucas Duda. Strike 3.
Carlos Santana will step in with 2 on and 2 out here in the 9th inning. Kobayashi thought about it. Saw Butera throw behind a runner and get Ota in the bottom of the 8th. Trying to see if Zobrist was a little too far off the bag at second. Nunez on at first. A couple of strikeouts, a double play, and a walk for Santana in this ball game. And ahead in the count here, 2 balls and no strikes with Yasiel Puig on deck.
Yeah, this is huge right here for Santana. Looks like he bought himself a fastball. Although with Puig on deck, you never know. Changes the game right there. Drops in a little 2-0 slider. You fight so hard to get count leverage, to get yourself a fastball. And he throws you a nasty little get-me-over slider.
That's big league pitching, isn't it?
That's nice right there. Because now at 2-1, you're still on the fastball and you don't know. It's got you in between. And then you're late. He's executing some nice pitches. Executed a nice down and in cutter slider to Lucas Duda for strike 3. Has worked himself back from a 2-0 deficit to even the count now. He's got Santana on his heels, not really sure of where he's going next.
Zobrist on second, Nunez on first. The 2-2 pitch to Santana. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Santana goes down swinging for the 3rd time tonight. And now we go to the bottom of the 9th, 8-7. Welcome back. Again, we've talked about it a lot throughout this ball game that a number of players from Japan have come over, and if you stack them all up, you could come up with a pretty good team. Behind the plate, we mentioned Kenji Jojima before. Obviously, Ichiro makes that list. Hideki Matsui, a World Series MVP. Starting pitching staff wouldn't be too bad either. Nomo, Darvish, Kuroda, Daisuke, Iwakuma. And the late Bob Shepard's favorite name, Shigetoshi Hasegawa. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Used to love saying that name.
I was fortunate, had the good fortune of being teammates with not only Munenori Kawasaki, but I was in Chicago when Kosuke Fukudome, opening day, takes Eric Gagne deep in Wrigley. Just endeared himself to the Chicago Cub faithful.
Yeah, Matsui did the same thing. His first game in the Bronx, grand slam.
Kosuke now plays for the Hanshin Tigers.
Jose Veras back out to try to finish this off. Bottom of the ninth inning. Whether the Tigers and Giants score a run or not, this is going to be it. Veras deals the 1-0. Kobayashi taps that one at the plate to even the count at 1-1 strike. Evan Longoria with a grand slam in this one. Way back in the 5th inning. Robinson Cano a couple of hits as well. As the major leaguers embark on this Japan trip. On the ground, foul past the dive of Nunez. So once they get this ball game out of the way, and an important game for the folks in Japan, of course, the Japanese professional baseball's 80th anniversary game. Again, right before that All-Star Series, a 5-game set, the Samurai Japan team of All-Stars and the Major League All-Stars. Yasiel Puig's been out there for 9 innings. And here comes the 1-2 to Kobayashi in the dirt, blocked by Butera, 2-2.
This place will erupt if Japan gets their leadoff hitter on.
Fights it off. Count remains 2-2 strikes. So Veras in a save situation in this ball game. There are a couple of other guys that have saves. Tommy Hunter has 11, or had 11 in the 2014 season, I should say. Mark Melancon with 33. Maybe for John Farrell, an effort to keep those guys fresh for when the lights will be even brighter. The Kyocera Dome in Osaka tomorrow night. See Matt Shoemaker in game 1. Probably pitching to the guy in his left, Sal Perez. The guy in the background, Hisashi Iwakuma, goes in game 2. The 2-2 pitch. Misses, 3-2. Misses and a leadoff walk here in the 9th. Let's go back to the bottom of the 8th inning and how it ended. Drew Butera throw down to second base. Ota way off the bag. He of course was the tying run, but Butera erased him. And now the tying run is aboard to lead things off after the walk.
Being that there's no extra innings and it's an exhibition, do we see a bunt right here?
See, I guess we shall see. We'll see what Yamato Maeda does as they check on Kobayashi at first.
Let him swing.
You're not playing for the tie. Maeda singled and scored in the 7th.
He looks like he's bunting to me. He's giving me that impression, Paul.
He's reached base all 3 times up tonight. Single in the 3rd, a walk in the 6th, and again singled and scored in the 7th. Squares to bunt, drops it down, foul. You were right.
Team Japan, so fundamentally sound. I would expect this bunt to get put down. Advance the runner to second base. Give them at least a chance to tie it with a knock.
Another check on Kobayashi at first. They are really trying to keep him close.
You throw over, you try and get Kobayashi to stay as close to first base as you can. Maybe have a shot at that lead runner at second base if the bunt's not executed properly.
The 0-1, no bunt, foul back, 0-2. I guess the question is how much is too much in terms of checking a runner at first. Like at what point can a pitcher lose his concentration on the hitter?
Yeah, I'm sure absolutely he can lose his concentration, but I guess you can be a little less fine with the execution of certain pitches knowing the guy's bunting. Then again, he pulled back right there and took a nice cut. I'd expect Veras to stay hard right here. Fastball away.
The 0-2 to Maeda. Misses upstairs. Butera bobbled. Looked like he had thoughts of throwing down to first. If they're all going to be like this, I'd sign up for it. It's been a good ball game. It has. Still 6 more to go after this. Veras really preoccupied with Kobayashi at first, who led off the inning with a walk.
Yes, he is. I don't know his time to home plate, but he's got a lot of moving parts to get it there.
Spoils another one. Maeda, .260 hitter in his 6 seasons in Nippon professional baseball. .264 this year. 105 hits in 132 games. And a chance to help the squad here in the bottom of the 9th. The 1-2. Ground ball. Base hit up the middle. Kobayashi to second. 2 on, nobody out in the bottom of the 9th. 3rd hit of the night.
great piece of hitting. Again, this Japanese hitter's not trying to do too much. Kind of that pass the baton mentality. Seen a few balls go in the gap. 2 RBI triple. But right there, just staying short. Tried to execute a bunt. 0-0, didn't get it down. They obviously took the bunt sign off. Stayed short with 2 strikes, right back up the middle. Double barrel action in the pen.
Jeff Beliveau and Rob Warming for John Farrell's bunch. Jose Veras in trouble. A walk to Kobayashi to lead off the inning. And Maeda with the base hit up the middle. 2 runners aboard. Nobody out in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Now you'll see a bunt.
No, Cano does not swear. Love it. Well, you're not going to get extra innings. This was Cano back in the 7th inning. An RBI double. Part of a 5-run 7th inning. He finds the gap here. Game over. Might do it. And ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Veras deals upstairs, 2-0.
That's exactly what he told his skipper with 2 men on. He's like, don't put the bunt on. Last at bat, I went shopping in the gap.
From one Cano to the other, here comes the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, 2-1.
Tried to end it right there with a walk-off.
That's something that, you mentioned that just pass the baton mentality. That's a difference in the Japan game and the game here in the big leagues.
Absolutely. And you fight to try and help your teammates learn that mentality because it works.
Off the mask of Butera, 2-2.
There's a rhythm to a batting order.
So many times we see hitters taking big hacks with 2 strikes. Haven't seen that much tonight. This joint squad of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants. Down a run in the bottom of the 9th inning. Cano, who's 1 for 2. Even in the count, 2-2. Veras deals. Did he go? He did. 1 away.
Nice sharp breaking ball right there from Jose Veras. Great block by Drew Butera. See the tight rotation right there. Perfect fundamentals behind the dish. Drew Butera's done a lot of nice things defensively.
Yeah. At the moment, perhaps none bigger than picking off Ota to end the 8th inning. But right now, a whole other jam. 2 on, 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. Hiroki Uemoto steps in. 2 for 4. RBI double in the 6th. RBI single in the 7th. Take strike 1. Breaking ball gets by Butera.
He crossed him up right there. Just watching the signs Drew Butera put down. Could have swore I saw a changeup called and Veras threw curveball. Completely crossed Butera up and that ball goes back to the screen. changes the whole dynamic. You see Terry Francona right there. They're going to intentionally walk Umoto. You could just see the reaction of the glove from Butera right there, that he was expecting something off speed, but definitely not a curveball.
Yeah, I saw Francona give the 4 sign too, but apparently they're going to go at Uemoto here. That one in the dirt, now 2-1. See if the game plan changes.
I think what Terry Francona was maybe holding out the hands to bring the infield in.
Yeah. They're in around the diamond. A base hit here could end it. Vera's hoping that doesn't happen. 2-1 pitch to Uemoto. And Uemoto may have gotten crossed up on that one.
Nasty breaking ball right there from Veras.
Two pitch. Outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
You have an open base right here. So if you walk him, the double play still in order, which allows him to use that breaking ball if he wants to.
Saka on deck. And the payoff pitch to Uemoto. Inside, ball 4. Tried to get him with that same breaking ball that he got a called strike on a couple of pitches back. Instead, misses inside, and they're loaded with 1 out. And now John Farrell will go to the bullpen. What was once an 8-1 lead is now an 8-7 lead, with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 9th inning. Probably not a walk John Farrell thought he'd be making in the middle innings of this one. Whatever happens, it'll be a dramatic finish. And we'll be back to see it right after this. An 8-7 lead now for the Major League All-Stars. Again, they were once up 8-1. But the joint team of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants have fought back. And Jeff Beliveau comes in to try to finish this thing off. Had one save this year in 24 innings pitched for the Tampa Bay Rays. 27-year-old pitched to a .263 ERA.
Wonder if he knew on the flight over he was going to be thrown into this situation day one.
I don't think he would have thought that in the 6th inning. Never mind on the flight over.
Just a testament to the at-bats the Japanese team has slapped on Major League Baseball starters and relievers.
They've done it without the strength of a long ball. Meanwhile, Sal Perez, Dexter Fowler, and Longoria have home runs for the Major League All-Stars. The bases are loaded. Kobayashi at third, Maeda at second, and Uemoto is on at first. Again, there's no extra innings in this game, so it's going to end in 9. Even if there's a tie, we can only hope after this long trip that it won't end in a tie. Saka takes a called strike. Saka's got a little Kevin Youkilis.
I was just good. I want the people back home to lock in on this. Look at this start. Very, very a la Kevin Youkilis. Starting that top hand way above the belt.
In the air, center field. Fowler underneath it. Will they test the arm? Here comes the throw, and retreating to third is Kobayashi.
You guys send them right there, no?
I guess. I mean, you're not playing for extras.
Exactly.
You got nothing to lose.
Flair for the dramatic. Sets up this huge at bat. Bases loaded, 2 outs, down a run.
Did take a kind of a funky hop off the side of the mound, but Butera knocked it down. So again, the base is loaded in 2 outs. Tigers and Giants down to their final out. First pitch to Kataoka is in there for a strike. Grounded out in the 7th, walked and scored in the 8th. Trying to at least tie, perhaps win this ball game in the 9th. Swings and misses, 0-2.
Good pitch right there by Beliveau. Fastball, cutter, curve in the arsenal. Got him 0-2, could do a lot of different things right here.
Struck out 4 batters for every walk in his 24 innings pitched, 28 Ks and 7 walks. The 0-2 pitch misses, 1-2. Butera wants a word. Let's make sure we don't get crossed up like we did earlier this inning.
Exactly. Working with these guys for the first time. Want to make sure all the signs are in check.
Beliveau has inherited this mess. Came in with the bases loaded, 1 out, got the fly ball for out number 2. And the 1-2 pitch fought off. Count remains 1-2. Jose Veras came on in the 8th inning, but in the 9th walked the leadoff hitter Kobayashi, who currently sits at 3rd. Gave up a hit to Maeda. He's at 2nd. Struck out Cano, walked Uemoto, who's at 1st. And again, the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, it wasn't easy, but the Major League All-Stars hold off the joint squad of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants. Robinson Cano, a couple of hits. Evan Longoria had a grand slam. Sal Perez a home run. Dexter Fowler a home run. This was a nail biter. This was a fun watch to kick off this Japan trip.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of guys got their feet wet. I thought Chris Capuano came out and just set the tone. 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. Just really looked good. The bullpen, Franklin Morales, Jose Vera scuffled a little bit, but some big, huge homers. The biggest of which was Evan Longoria's grand slam.
That was a big grand slam back in the 5th inning. And the Major League All-Stars able to avert what was looked like something of a heroic comeback here. Down 8-1, closing the gap to 8-7. They had a runner on base at second base who got picked off in the 8th, and the bases loaded 1 out in the 9th. But the joint squad of the Hanshin Tigers and Yomiuri Giants could not get the job done. 8-7 your final score. So on behalf of all of us here at MLB Network, thanks for joining us in our coverage of the 2014 Japan All-Star Series. Don't forget, games continue through November 20th. We'll be back tomorrow. Kyocera Dome in Osaka. Matt Shoemaker, Kenta Maeda, your 2 starting pitchers. For Mark DeRosa and our entire crew, I'm Paul Severino saying goodbye. We'll see you next time. The Major League All-Stars hang on for an 8-7 victory in their first game here in Japan. We'll see you next time here on MLB Network.